Hi, this is Hi Bob Poor Bob, and we're about to play some Ultimate General Civil War.
So, hello everybody. Welcome back to a camp video today. I have been asked to go over my strategy for why I play the way I do. Bigger units, as many men on the battlefield as possible, driving up the numbers of my opponent, and things like that. So, the biggest thing is that whenever your unit does anything, you gain the same amount of experience if he has 1,000 men in the unit or if he has 2,500 men in the unit. So if you gain 1 stamina on a 2,005 man unit, it's like gaining 2.5 stamina on a 1,000 man unit. So you have to gain 2.5 times the experience to just make up for the fact that my units are that much bigger. The second half of that is we can come over here and we can look at the number of men at Newport News that I have. 4,500. So what is that? 4 max stack? Because max stacks is 1,500 at this point, I believe. No, it's 3. 3 1,500 men units. And I lose. My losses is 8.2% after medicine. So I lost 8.2% of my men. And you can see that that's kind of a high. That one's the highest, but really, I try to keep this as low as possible. There's a 10 and a 9.8. But so the goal is to keep this as low as possible so that the amount of experience that I'm gaining is higher. So we can go over here and we can look at my previous playthrough. You can see 14, 15, 11, 15, 12, 15. The numbers are higher on this playthrough. I did not bring as many men to Newport News the first time. I did not bring as many men to the First Bull Run the first time. I brought 4 max stack 1,500 men units to First Bull Run, unlike last time. And then I proceeded to lose almost none of my men. 4% losses is incredibly small. It's not the 2.6 that the ambush convoy is. So in this ambush convoy, I brought 17,482 men, which is basically almost everybody that you can bring, I think. It's awfully close. I brought everybody that I could get guns for. So the goal is to get guns for as many men as possible, as early as possible, and to keep them in guns, and to put them on the battlefield as early as possible. The way you do that is twofold. Whenever you get captures, you get guns from your opponents in both the UI mod and the rebalance mod. So the more men that you capture, the better. Second, you want to lose as few of your own men, and now even as few of your allies' men, but your men are more important than your allies' men because you get more of your allies' guns if they live, but you get none of their actual men if they live. So, and the training and all that you put into your men is much higher than the amount of training that is on your allies. I mean, your allies bring a whole bunch of 1-star units to Bull Run, and I think I'm bringing or no-star units. Some of their units are like no stars. I don't think I bring any 2-star units, but the big secret there is that you don't want any of your units to be green. I don't think. I think that green units are not good, and that 2-star units are just better in every single way. Let's pull up the game now. So you go to your army. Oh, this is completely the broken down army. So this is the 95,000 men that I now have for after Antietam, 95,716. And I can make a unit here of 1,000 men, and we'll try to grab whoever's closest to being a no-star colonel. I'm not sure how close we have. We have one that's pretty close and pretty close below too. And we'll look here, and I can make a 2-star unit plus 13 experience. So that is really good. Yes, a lot of it is just stamina, morale, and, my efficiency is 42. I'm pretty sure that by this point in the game, Pandakraut probably has 1,000 man units with better efficiency than mine have. But he does not have 95,716 men that he could put with 2 stars as low as I think it's like a no bar lieutenant colonel, basically. still has 2 stars with just my manpower pool. That is incredibly powerful because that second point gets me 10 more firearms, 10 accuracy, and 10 slower reload, 10 faster reload. However you look at it, this second perk with the 10 firearms, I don't know exactly where his firearms is. I would have to go back and actually look at his videos. But if he's much above 50, I would be surprised on, like, his lower tier units or even medium tier units. Yes, his best might be better than this. Anybody that you go to. I mean, we could just try to go look right now. So this is something compass. And we go to, wow, the screen is going all kinds of wonky. I don't know why it's going all kinds of wonky. So usually he goes through and he shows each of his units whenever he's doing this. I don't know if he's going to or not here. He usually clicks on each of his units in turn. Okay. So, he definitely has higher firearms than I do. 79 firearms and 76. I mean, look at that bar. That is a huge bar right there. So, he obviously has better units than me. But then he does that. And it goes down to 65. Mine will go up to 53 with the perks that I will choose, right? So, I have 53. He has 65 there. So how much better is his unit, one of his best units, than mine? It's not that much different. But my stamina is higher. My morale is higher probably. What is my stamina and morale? Okay, 76 and 93. So I've got 93 stamina. That's way higher than his. 71, 76. Yeah, I've got higher morale. My efficiency is obviously going to be quite a bit lower. Almost, 17 points lower. But then he goes over to this unit. And these are just a few units that he has. This is Corinth. So Antietam was just last thing. So this is actually him after Antietam. And he's got like a few 2-star units here. A handful of 2 stars. A lot of them are beat up a bit. He's only got 14,000 extra men. He has almost as much money as I do. But whenever he knocks down this guy to 1,300, he doesn't look that much different than me. That unit right there doesn't look hardly any different than my unit. And the catch is that my units are going to be 2,500. Huge units compared to his 13s. So if I can lose a comparable amount of men to what he loses. So we take this for example. Come over here to this. So we look at Newport News. And we go, what do I need to get to actually get benefit out of this? Let's go to one that we pretty much supply all our own men. So Ambush Convoy, we pretty much supply all of our own men. So it's an easier one to compare because losing your allied troops just doesn't matter as much. So, Pandakraut. He loses 1,138 men. But he only brought 7,799 men. So, he lost 1/8, over 1/8 of his army. 1/7. It's like 1/7 of his army. So if I lose less than 1/7 of my army and bring more men than him, then I've gained more experience than him. I don't know if that will make sense to everybody, but basically, the goal at the beginning of the campaign for me is to get as many units to 2 stars as possible. As many men to be 2-star ready as possible. And the easiest way to do that is by staying in the battle longer, bringing as many men as possible, and not losing more men than what Pandakraut does, or losing a comparable number. So he lost 1,138. Let's see what I lost on Stay Alert. Ambush Convoy, sorry. Ambush Convoy. I lost 459 men that weren't my own, that were mine, but 1,199 was my losses total. So that includes the allied units, and I lost pretty much all of the allied units. So my losses are comparable.
So I went and looked up Pandakraut's Ambush Convoy just to compare it a little bit. So he lost 932 of his own men and 206 cavalry. So my losses of about 400 of my own men to 932 that he lost of his men, I lost about half as many of my own men as he lost of his men.
I didn't lose very many more than he did. But yet, instead of losing, well, I'm guessing that probably a good portion of his is probably his allied units too that he lost. See, that's why it makes this so difficult to really compare very well on here until you get into the ones later where you bring almost entirely your own units. Like, I think Cross Keys, all you bring is your own units by that point. And he lost 2,000. And I lost. Let's see, yeah, that's one that you bring only your own men. Port Republic, you bring only your own men. I could have just gone with Stay Alert. There we go. Stay Alert. Stay Alert, you bring just your own men. 21,323 men. And he brought 12,000. Right? No, 7,000. 290. So he lost 2,500, basically. And I lost 1,555. So I actually lost 1,000 fewer men than him. And brought 21,000 to his 7,000. So if all things are equal, I gained 3 times more experience than he did. If all my troops gained the exact same amount of experience per unit as him. And on top of that, I lost 1,000 fewer men. And my percentage of loss will be even lower than that. Because by losing 2,500 men, he lost a third of his men. 33% of his men were dead at the end of that battle. That is a huge loss in experience. Whereas I lost 7%, which is still huge casualties in a lot of ways. Like, I still felt like that was a little bit high for that early on. But it was only only 7% of my men. Like, that's a huge difference. The amount of experience that I gained here was astronomically huge in the grand scheme of things. Huge benefit to me by losing only that few of men. And I didn't lose any cavalry or any cannons, and I don't know if he did or not, but I definitely didn't. He probably brought a bunch of cannons and stuff. So basically what I'm doing here is if I can get close to his number of losses while bringing 3 times more men and losing close to the same, I'm just going to keep gaining more experience for later on in the campaign. So at some point, I will be able to use my artillery because they will have the experience, but they're so tiny of units at this point in the game. Like, if you throw a artillery unit out there at this point in the game, you might put out 300 men, maybe 400 men, maximum of maybe 600 men. If you had like a huge unit, that would be a huge unit. I don't think that's actually the kind of size you put in a unit. Artillery brigade, yeah, 12 guns is 300 men. So you bring 300 men to the battle, I bring 2,500 men to the battle. If all of the things are equal, if I lose the same number of men you do, I gain so much more experience than you. So much more. It's incredible how much more experience you gain whenever you go with bigger units. And you can't always do that. Sometimes you do need some snipers or some cannons to hold specific places. So you do still bring cannons sometimes. But most of the time, what you're actually going for is just the amount of experience gain. So I know that recently, Fiasco, you're the one that asked for this too, so I figured I'd bring you up. You went for a legendary playthrough on the rebalance mod where you decided to go all into training. I go all into training, but in the opposite direction. My training comes from the fact that I bring all my men to the battle that I can, even if that means I have to sell things. I have sold cannons in the past to buy rifles to equip my men so that then I could bring more men onto the battlefield to get the experience gain early, doubling down on the experience that the Confederate has. So you were talking about getting to have a 1-star unit with a major. I'm talking about getting to have a 2-star unit with a major or a lieutenant colonel. That's what my aim is. My aim is to get even better, because that 1st star with a major is good and all that, but that 2nd star, man, is the best. I don't know how good it is in the rebalance mod. I am really, really curious to see how well all my stuff would work in the rebalance mod, if I'm completely honest. So now we're actually going to get into the actual everything here. So I didn't mean to actually give him. So this infantry brigade here, with that guy, we're going to look at what his stats are compared to the other guy. We don't want to give him something we have to buy. There's no reason for that. Okay, so 56, 42, 76. 52, 42. Wait. Oh, that's command. Command didn't count. Okay, 42, 76. 42, 42, 76. 83, 43, 83, 83, 43, and 45, 45. With a total of, we could say 112. This is probably like, is this 10%? No, it's 3%. It's not, that won't even give him 1 point. That's fine. That is fine. That's 13, really. I think that that's good enough. We could try it with this guy and see how low it goes. Does it stay at, okay, it goes at 12. So if you just average those two together, I think that it's pretty much 13. Because this is a 93 and the other guy was only a 3. So I think it would lean more heavily towards the 13 than the 12. So you go 2 star 13. So that is 19 points higher in this run than my previous run. And that's comparing to myself. If I actually went and asked Pandakraut, so I gained, what, 6 points from the last major battle? 6 points here? But I gained 10 points here? So you can tell where I really make leaps. Like, there was only a 6-point difference. I don't remember where this, was this Malvern? That's Malvern Hill. No. That would be Malvern Hill. This one is just a copy down from Malvern Hill, so it's probably the major battle after Malvern Hill. So that would be second bull run? Maybe? No, because... yeah, this one would be second bull run. So I don't know when each of these was at. Okay, let's look here. We've got... how many men total? We've got 60,000 men there. We've got... where do we hit 60,000 men? Like here? So it looks like we had 60,000 men at Malvern Hill. I don't know. Okay. The fact still remains that you can tell where there's jumps. Like, this is not that different from each other. But then here, that's really different from each other. So something in between these two really jumped up. Now, one thing I do want to mention is this right here. This is really weird. I didn't get a single colonel or brigadier general to buy in my newest playthrough. Not a single one. That is super weird. I feel like something is kind of wonky about that. And only 4 lieutenant colonels. I think I got even more lieutenant colonels than that in my first playthrough. I don't remember exactly how many it was, but I think it was more than 4. So I'm a little bit disappointed in this right here. I really feel like I should have been able to buy at least some of both of these. So that's really going to put me, I don't know if it's behind, because I've got 14 major generals and 4 lieutenant generals, which is pretty good at this point in the battle, I think. But that 7 really, I don't understand it. I think that's a little bit too high. I think that was either just really lucky, or it realized that I was really far behind on major generals and lieutenant generals, and it just gave me some, I don't know. But still, that 41 was higher than there anyway. Okay, enough of that. So basically, I've got 13,000 more men than last time, and yet they're still 20 points higher than the first time. My money is almost exactly the same. I did not get the Jameses this time. I have fewer parrots this time, but I have more ordnance. Pretty comparable down through most of this. I had sold off like all my 6-pounders last time, but this time I went in and kept them. Until you get up here into the Fayettevilles. I bought them this time, I didn't last time. And then you get into Harper's Ferries, and you're like, holy moly. This is 15 units of Harper's Ferries. This is 10. That is a big difference in power. A big difference. And that's 2 to 3. And this is like 5 to 8. Somewhere around in there. And this is 3-ish to 5. And this is 0 there and 1 there. And this is pretty much just over 2 to pretty much 3. And Palmetto's, I mean, it's a 2 to 1 pretty much. And Springfields, I still have more Springfields here because I haven't used them, because I haven't needed to. Farmers, nobody cares about farmers. So, this is all 10s too. Because, yeah, I went 10 really early on politics, whereas I was not even 10 at the end of Stone River before. So that has been a huge difference that has allowed me to have as many more men as I have. Like, Stones River, I only brought 75,000 men to? That seems weird. Whenever I had 88,000 at Fredericksburg? It seems really low. Something seems off about that, because I don't think I lost that many men, did I? I only lost like 4,000 men. I gained more than that, right? 8,000. 9,000 with captures. So that seems really weird. Oh, you can only bring so many men. That's what it is. I forgot about that. You can only bring three brigades. I mean, 3 corps to that one. And that's another weird thing, is that Stone the Rivers, it suddenly stops you from being able to bring all your units. I still kept all my units in another core, even though I didn't bring them, so I could keep onto that experience and everything. But yeah, it's going to be painful going forward without being able to bring the full amount of troops that I have been bringing. I might have to leave some artillery or things like that behind. I don't know how well all infantry armies would do, but so far I've kind of proven that at least in this one you can bring pretty much all infantry armies and do pretty good. So I think that pretty much hits up all the reasons why I do what I do and how to do it for the most part, except the part where you actually have to fight the battles. So to get an idea of how to fight the battles the way I do, you just kind of have to watch the other videos and just kind of get an idea on a battle-to-battle idea, because each battle is pretty unique for most things. The basic idea is that I use that whole stacking an infantry with a skirmisher on top of it. And I mean, that does a lot of it, but it's not 100% of it. A lot of it is just the fact that I have so many infantry units that I can move around and get into positions that other people can't. Especially Pandakraut, because he doesn't bring a whole lot of infantry a lot of the time. So I'm able to outmaneuver my opponent and get them into compromising positions, which then also, especially in this playthrough, has allowed me to do this, which is insane amount of captures. Second bull run, I captured 26,000 men. 17,000 men here at Antietam. I think I said that was one of my highest. It's not even my second highest in this run. It's not even my third highest in this run. So, yeah, I was really wrong. I thought that this was way better than what it was. And obviously, I have completely blown it out of the water. But the number of men I faced in this one was so small compared to what I faced at Second Bull Run. At Malvern Hill, I just captured a ton of men. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. 17,000 men at Malvern Hill is insane. I only had 59,000 men going after their 51, and I captured 17,000. 93% kill and captured. 95% killed and captured at Port Republic. Like, so part of it is this kill percentage. This kill percentage compared to my loss percentage is a pretty good indication of how well you're doing. How many men are you capturing and killing compared to how many men you're losing lets you know pretty close. So I think I've kind of rambled on a little bit here about this kind of thing, and maybe it doesn't really interest you that much. I hope that you'll find it insightful. So now we have to go and actually do the video of what I did after Antietam. So here's my army after Antietam. We're looking at an army of, what would that be, 85,000 men? Close to it. We did take some pretty heavy casualties on our cavalry, which is fine. It's not that bad. We're going to be wanting to dilute out our cavalry because their stats are getting too high, which is sad. I'm a little bit sad to see them go. But if you look at some of the cavalry in here, they've got over 100 in several categories. I mean, almost 100 stamina, 100 morale, 100 melee. And there's the other one. It's almost got 100 in all of them too. So we don't want that to continue on because that would be kind of bad. So yeah, that actually brought down the morale by 1. But basically what I just want to do is just show you how close these are to the max, even not including the fact that, he's got extra melee there. So we need to dilute them down, build some new cannons, we're going to spread the 3 snipers between 3 units. We actually recovered 44 Whitworth with scopes, which is a lot more than I thought I would get. So I'm pretty excited about the fact that I did get back almost half, because I lost, 110 men. So I got 18 of them back from medicine, and then 44 guns. So that 18 and 44 is over the 55 that I would have to get back half, if you look at it that way. And the fact that I have such high medicine is really good for these really high stat units. And I did lose a few more men than I would have liked on some of these units, but everybody did pretty well for kills. I mean, that's 5-1. That's not bad. And obviously some units did worse, 3-1 there, but almost nobody got less than 1-1 at least. So, and I mean, look at that. That's under 100 to 2,300. That's over 20-1 kills on this unit. So 2-1 there. So we're not doing too bad here. I'm feeling pretty good about most of these units. I was a little bit sad that I lost this guy as well. Let's see, who are our 2 wounded? We have a lieutenant colonel and a colonel. So there's our 4 lieutenant colonels that we're going to be able to buy. We got General Lee now. So I'm not going to buy very many weapons right now. Mostly it's just going to be the Whitworths and a few infields to make a third unit of rifle cav, and the probably howitzers and the parrots here. And I'm not sure what I want to spend my points on here. Not AP Hill though, but do I go ahead and get the howitzers and the infields? Do I go ahead and go for the men just to see how many men I can get? Looking at the rewards for... Where's the rewards? Union versus CSA rewards. Here we go. So the men rewarded from here onwards is a pretty good number. It's not a crazy number, but it's enough to do a pretty good number, 140,000. So I'll gain a few more here, but for the most part, all I'm going to gain is 140,000. So that 140,000 plus the 90,000 I have would only be like 230,000, and that's if I got 0 losses, which obviously I'm not going to get 0 losses. So to make up the other almost 60,000 men that I need, it can't be done. So there's no way I'm hitting 300,000 at this point in the game. I don't think that it's possible to hit that high because I went almost straight into... Of course, I do have to admit that in these matches, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I could gain 20,000 more men from captures. And that 20,000 men would cut that in half, but that was if I lost... That would be if I lost 0 men, and I'm obviously not going to lose 0 men. And I don't think that there's any way that I'll be able to buy enough men through the other. I think somebody has it pretty much shown where they buy all the men. I can't remember who it was that showed that. Nope. When they buy men from... Nope. Nope. Max Army. So is this United States? Yeah, Union. So I can't tell how many men I'm going to have available to buy. Well, that's 12,000 men, 8,000 men, 6,000 men, 8,000 men. Maybe I could get enough if... But I don't know how different the CSA is from the United States. Ooh, here we go. Okay, 8,000 men, 4,000 men, so that's 12, 16, 5,000 more, 21. Yeah, I mean, it's almost the rest of them that I would need if I didn't lose any men for the remainder of the time. But obviously that's not going to happen. Let's see, where's Antietam? It is here. So, yeah, if I lost 0 men, I might be able to do it. But obviously that's not going to happen. Yeah, they're 4,000 men buys, where the USA got what was that, like 12,000 men buys and 8,000, 7,000. Like, that's not even fair. They obviously get a ton more men buys than mine. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. I had to sneeze. So now that we've decided there's no way that I could do it unless I went back and I bought all the ones up here too, however many there are, I probably could have done it if I just bought them early, because some of the earlier ones are pretty cheap, I think. I just don't think that it's worth doing, but it would be so cool to see just how high I could get. I would hate it though if it made me lose this campaign. That would really suck. So, and anything that I do right now doesn't even matter, because the next thing I'm going to show you is my next step along the way, which is that I built out all new units. Oh, I guess I didn't buy any more infields. I guess it's just the 2. And then made all 3 of these 3 stars, which is pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. And here's all the junk units that I had. Okay, and then we go to the next one. And we have, I think, everything built out at this point. So this is all my 2,500 men units. I do have 3. I thought I had 3 units of rifle cav, 6 units of melee cav, and then 3 snipers. A few new units of 24-pound howitzers, just because I had to mix them up to get them in there. And the 10-pounder parrot. I now have enough major generals that I can spread them out, put them in charge of most of the divisions. I think I would have enough to go through almost all of them. And then my final is this one. So this is what I am planning to take into the next battle. 15 units. a lot of them are led by lieutenant colonels, because with a max lieutenant general, you can actually get away with having a lieutenant colonel in charge of a 2,005 man unit without taking a hit on efficiency, and my command line is still taller than my efficiency line too. So that is looking absolutely gorgeous. And even these guys, this guy took a 1-point hit, which is fine, and that guy took a 1-point hit, 1-point hit, 1-point hit on efficiency. That's fine. What I'm really looking for here is to gain as much experience as possible for these lieutenant colonels so they can become colonels, and a little bit of experience on these colonels as well. Oh wow, that one's taking a hit. Wow, that's different. I did not expect that. So maybe I just need to move him here. Maybe he'll be fine there. Yep, he's fine there. But that guy's not. Okay, so who's got the most experience out of all these guys? This guy? Let's see. Does that help? Nope. Still negative. Go ahead and go over here and grab maybe a higher major general. There we go. That's a higher major general. Put him in charge of here. And now we're fine. Okay. I want them in order, though. 13, 14, 15. Okay. So that is all 15 units of Harbor's Ferries. Like I said, I have a lot of Harbor's Ferries now. All of them are set up to be the max speed firing units. They're all brand new units, which really makes me kind of sad. I wish that you could save units' names and stuff while still, rejiggering them a little bit, but it's not really a thing. So I break down my entire army, basically every single major battle, and then completely rebuild my army. Most of these guys will go with endurance and marksman training. Marksman training is a lot better for major battles because ammo is more of a concern in major battles, whereas in side battles, the bigger concern is you want to not only pump out as much damage as possible, you also want to gain as much experience as possible. The more you fire, the more experience you gain. The faster you fire, the more likely it is to break a unit before it fires back at you. So you're less likely to take as many shots. The faster you fire, if you are putting out the same amount of damage anyway, they're less likely to be able to get their general over there in time to keep a unit from breaking if you do this, because you will fire at them before their general gets there or just as their general gets there, and fire quicker whenever the general gets there, or quicker after the last shot. It just feels better a little bit. Very slight difference. Personal preference only. It's only a recent thing that I've been doing. But you can see here that even with these lower experience units, because these are lower experience than what I showed you before, because a lot of my experience is tied up in, like these units, have a lot of the higher experienced units in my cavalry and my sniper units, and even my gun units have a higher experience rank. Like, see, with a low major, probably. Wait, I don't even have a low major at this point. With a low major, with a no bar major, I still have 2 stars, easy. So all of these units are sucking up some of that good experience that I have. So that is why my infantry units have lower experience bars than what I was showing you before, whenever I was making units and showing that they could be, like a no bar lieutenant colonel makes a 2-star unit, I think, is what I was showing. Yeah. Now a no bar lieutenant colonel would not make a 2-star unit with these men. And that's all because a lot of that experience is in those other units. You look at my command bars are pretty much all higher than my efficiency lines. My efficiency is low. I will admit that. That is one downside to doing it this way. But the efficiency of all my units whenever I go into a major battle is extremely high compared to bringing in green troops and bringing in experienced troops separately. So the catch is that I feel losses worse in some ways. So every time I lose a man in any battle, I lose someone with experience. But if you brought in a low experience unit and let it take all the hits, then you don't feel that so much. But I feel that having all my units be units that I can rely on to do anything that I need to do at any time is more important than the amount of experience that I lose. And also, I'm bringing this many men to the battle. If I lose even a few thousand men, I'm still gaining way more experience. Like, if I bring this to this battle here, let's see. I think this is the 15 one, but I can bring 15 units too. Okay, so I'm going to bring 37,000 men. I think it's approximate, because for some reason, 37,620 is actually 37,500 men, and then like 120 men in his little thing that runs around, and maybe the support unit. So, how many men? So what battle are we going into here? We are going into either Corinth or Prairie Grove. Which one was it that I was talking about? Corinth. Okay, it is Corinth. And we go over to Pandakraut, and we go to Corinth. He brought 10,000 men. If I bring 37,000 men and face off against probably around 25, maybe 28,000 men, maybe, I'm going to outnumber them by a lot, like substantially. And Pandakraut at Corinth lost 2,000 men. If I can lose 2,000 men, 2,300 men or whatever, really, if I can lose 2,500 men or less, then I pretty much come out ahead at this point. My goal is going to be to lose less than 2,000 men, I think. I really want to go under his number if I can, but just hitting his number is enough. If I can get the same, then I'm doing good. If I do better, then I'm doing exceptional at that point, because, for one thing, he won. So if he can win with the number of men that he has, I almost have as many men as he had at Washington. Not really, but I could probably win with the number of men that I have right now, because my men are probably more experienced now than his men were at Washington, on average. I don't know that for a fact. I have, but probably, I don't know how big his army is back here. Chancellorsville, 60,000. Like, I'm going to bring 90,000 to, like, all my battles from here on out, plus as many men as I can to every battle, pretty much. I will not be bringing all infantry to every single battle. I will try it. I want to see if I can get away with it, but I don't mind bringing other units. But if infantry does the best, then why would I bring any other units? I have spoken for almost an hour. I'm probably going to speed it up to 1.5 speed to keep you from having to actually watch an hour video for a camp video, because that would be a little bit insane. We're just going to go for it, guys. Boom. We're going to do it. We're going to save this. There you go. Save. We're going to go for that play and see what happens. 24-pound howitzers. I'm going to wait till after this battle so that I don't have a penalty to my morale. So I've talked way long enough. You guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Sorry this one's so long. You just drop a comment on one of Fiasco's things and complain to him if you don't like it.